Welcome to Brilliantly British. My name is Lawrence and today I'm going to show you how to make one of Britain's most cherished pies. I'm going to show you how to make a shepherd's pie. So, as I show you how to make it in that chair of yours with a cup of tea in hand, putting your feet up to, sit back, relax and enjoy this episode. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. This is a shepherd's pie, a hearty, warming and satisfying lamb-scented dish which is often mistaken for a beef cottage pie, and in my opinion, both tick all boxes when comfort food is sought after. But I digress. In today's episode, we'll be sharing our rich and simple recipe, giving you all you need to recreate this brilliantly British dish in your kitchens. So, without much further ado, allow me to introduce the ingredients to you. For today's brilliantly British shepherd's pie, you will need some onions, tomato puree, thyme, rosemary, flour, celery, swede, butter, lamb mince, carrots, fresh or frozen peas. You will need also some potatoes, some Worcestershire sauce, and of course, to avoid the occurrence of bland food, you will need some salt and some pepper. That's it for the making of this brilliantly British shepherd's pie. But before you get started, before you do anything at all, I say switch on your kettle, brew yourself a nice cup of hot tea so that you can sip on that whilst you cook. To start, in a deep oiled saucepan over a medium-high heat, begin to fry onions and celery with a pinch of salt, and in tandem slowly boil peeled and chopped potatoes, which should need little to no attention. To the onions and celery, in will go a dash of water to help the vegetables break down before leaving the contents to simmer for a few minutes. After 5 or so minutes of simmering, if necessary, drizzle in more oil, then turn in your minced lamb, turning the heat up to high. As the contents fry, break the meat apart while sprinkling in a pinch or two of salt. With the majority of the meat now brown, push the contents to one side and on an exposed area of the pan begin to fry some tomato paste for a minute or two before mixing all of the contents within your pan together. Proceed by stirring constantly over a high heat with the intention of developing a dark fond at the bottom of your pan. With the dark fond now formed, push the contents to one side and on the exposed area of the pan begin to fry some minced garlic and also deglaze with some generous glugs of Worcestershire sauce. Add enough Worcestershire sauce to completely deglaze your pan, then add diced carrots, swede and water before allowing the contents to simmer under a lid for 2 to 3 minutes. Following on, move the contents to one side of your pan and to the liquid in the pan, stir in flour, dissolving it completely before mixing all contents together and adding more water. After adding more fluid, add your freshly chopped rosemary and thyme, taste and if necessary, add more salt, followed by a generous dusting of black pepper. Once the contents are vaguely able to hold a line when stirred, switch off your source of heat before concluding this step by stirring in fresh garden peas. With the sauce prepared, turn your attention to the mashed potato by mashing your potatoes with butter, which I found to be quite therapeutic whilst remaining hydrated, of course. With the mashed potato made, simply season to taste with salt and pepper perfectly, and with that done, swivel round to begin preheating your grill, for we are now ready to construct this pie. Into your baking dish of choice, set over a tray to catch any inevitable spills, turn in your sauce, and then carefully top with your smooth, creamy mashed potato. To add texture, score the top with a fork or knife, admire the thing, and then, before getting carried away, slide it under your grill. After a stint under the grill, the result should be this bronze-encrusted aromatic shepherd's pie, which should be left to cool for around 20 minutes before serving. So, with a fresh shepherd's pie made and your appetites stoked, I think it's now time for tasting. Okay. All right, this is still piping hot, and whilst it's still piping hot with this fantastic crust, I think we should get eating. So let's dish this a pie. All right, I have a piece of pie in my hand. It looks amazing, probably tastes amazing, but let's just check and make sure. So wow. Oh, okay. I'm gonna start off with the mash. The mash is smooth. I'm talking really smooth. And the best thing of all about it, it's got that wonderful crust. So you've got the smoothest mash ever, the crispiest of crusts. Perfect. Now, the filling. The lamb is that wonderfully rich meat that is beautifully fatty, and the juices from it have infiltrated. I mean, they've just gone everywhere in this pie to give it that distinct lamb flavor, complemented with the rosemary and the thyme, beautifully balanced. And with the addition of Worcestershire sauce and the way this pie was cooked, the way the filling was cooked, it's actually become really sweet, unusually sweet in a nice way. And the vegetables have still got their texture. There is texture in here. It's not just a lump of mince with mash. You've actually got texture in here. The carrots still have a bite to them. The Swede still has a bite to it. The peas haven't turned brown, so they're perfectly cooked. So this dish as a whole is brilliant. And of course, on the channel, we only do brilliantly British food. So I say, without a doubt, you must make this dish, please. Thank you all for allowing me to show you how to make a shepherd's pie beautifully from scratch. Knowing that you loved this episode, don't forget to click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button so that you don't miss any of our new releases. Tell everyone you know about the Brilliantly British food on this channel, and follow us on all of the social media platforms that this channel is on, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Oh. Mm.